The world of Texhnolyze is depicted as a hopelessly depressing nightmare where suffering never ends in the underworld, and sinister-like, purpose-defeating complacency, extinction, and fantasy thought dooms the surface world. Based on my experience and observation, our world is in a terrifying category of its own. Despite taking steps forward in technology, humans have stepped backwards in spirituality, where it matters most. In the West, just to point fingers, people are dependent on machines, phones, and computers. Hundreds of years ago, these people could have survived perfectly fine in the wild and have the necessary skills to survive. In modern times, Westerners have proved that humans are becoming more useless and skillless than ever before. People are so lazy and ignorant, it would not surprise me if these people start to move backwards in evolution. Put this together with a system of social media that has drifted people apart rather than bring them together. There are those who have thousands of friends but feel lonely and miserable because they don't know any of them personally. All those clicks and likes give them a hollow sense of validation that becomes addicting yet unsatisfying in the end. It's a degenerate dependency that promotes feelings of depression and further isolation. They work jobs that they can't stand, are taken advantage of and abused as workers, and dare to say, "I can't complain," or "it could be worse." Self-defeating foolishness. The system in place is designed for most people to fail. That is a necessity. It is a necessity to the power structure for most people to fail, who also fill in the majority of those harsh and slave-laboring positions. Automation and cybernation is still moving to replace these people, and when it does, will the richest still have a need for the poorest to exist? Why do good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people? Why are all those corrupt, evil, and murderous rich politicians living such luxurious lifestyles while the good and poor live and die miserable ones? Living a hell on earth because you go to heaven after? You've been tricked into believing that. Your life here matters too. But Texhnolyze isn't all about doom and gloom. It warns us and advises us to find meaning in our lives and in others, to find meaning in our humanity and in others. It shakes us into realizing these terrible emotions as a wake-up call. The characters in the series, despite losing limbs and taking heavy damage, they continue to go on. They refuse to give up. Their extreme passion to continue despite their problems is an inspirational message to those who are in a similar position. And I felt empty at the end of the series, but that made me see things more clearly. As they say, only when it gets dark enough can you see the stars. Though it looked unfortunate for Ichis in the conclusion, there was a sense of satisfaction and optimism in his smile. He never gave up and kept going. Though Yoshi didn't live long enough to finish carrying out his mission, he too left us with a smile. He never gave up and kept going. There was a sense of satisfaction in the end. This is a savage world. The only way to be able to face that and overcome it is to look directly at it. Don't look away or bury your head in the sand. Look at reality, not the way you want to see things. Most people will run away and stay in their dreamlike world. Thus, they lead a meaningless, aimless, and false existence. Most people will grow up believing immature and unrealistic fantasies as children and die never growing out of that. Their minds never quite mature. They grow physically but not mentally. The education system has taught you what to think and not how to think. What is happening to revolutionary thought? Have you noticed how fascism is moving to completely destroy it? And yet, people on the brink of self-destruction seem to always turn towards religion as their last mental crutch in the end to help them keep some sense of hope. Take a look at your friend's face, and though there may be a smile, what have they got to smile about? Smiling through a lonely life that progressively loses meaning and direction, but feeling grateful and satisfied. I can't complain. It could be worse. The grin grows bigger. For those generations who aren't as fortunate, they suffer a death of the spirit. This is the type of delusion that reminds me of the surface world in Texhnolyze. The desperation of living in poverty in broken down and exploited cities, left abandoned by the rich and the world to rot, shows that the underworld is also there, sometimes right across the street. But there are people who learn to overcome this, those who see the situation clearly, who question and find out that everything is backwards, and who plan and go to make a move similarly to the way Yoshi felt he had to, and I have to give meaning back to humanity. Those of us who see things more clear need to help others see it too. You can't convince all the people all the time, so don't feel unmotivated if some don't listen. There are those who naturally flock to the truth. The more you see this world we live in, the uglier you see it gets. The little that makes it beautiful is slowly slipping away and being killed off. What do you want to accomplish? In the end, will you smile? Thanks for listening.